Okay, guys, it's 9:08. Let's get this party started. Hoping to get a few more people in the call because I love the interaction. I love the questions, but let's hope some more people are joining. Let me just start the slideshow and share my screen. Right. So today's lesson is a little more deeply into how to get into a conversation to learn what they need, what your prospect, your client needs. So last time we talked about unlocking your potential. I just want to look back on that. I hope you guys were there, or at least saw it in the recording. So maybe you can type for me in the chat what the key lesson was from the last lesson, the last time. What you remember, what was in your opinion, or what you remember the key lesson, most important lesson. Or if you want to speak, there's only 6 people. If you want to do it with the microphone, feel free. But you can also type it in the chat. And tell me if you didn't see it. I want to know also if you did not see the last lesson, either recorded or live. It was, when was it? Sisong was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
No, I think it was first of December.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, Friday.
3 weeks ago. So, oh yeah, what was it? Dummy didn't see the last lesson. It's unfortunate. Didn't you make the recording available? Should have seen the last lesson.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'll just go back and watch it.
Yeah, you should. But I'm also repeating some of it. But hey, nobody else knows what the key lesson was for them. I mean, you don't need to have my answer. You can have your own answer. How about Usman? Or you didn't see it? I can't pronounce your name.
Yes, I saw it on YouTube. So.
Saw it on YouTube. Perfect. So what did you think was the key lesson, in your opinion? What did you learn? What did you learn from it, Usman? Maybe also Neka, and Chinea. Yeah, I'm butchering your name, sorry, but also for you guys, just type it in the chat, or if you didn't see it, tell me that you didn't see it, because come on, let's have some interaction. This is a lesson. Otherwise, I can pre-record the lesson. Now you guys have a chance to be here and interact, and I have a chance to learn where you guys are at. So, Nick also didn't see the lesson. Usman did. So, Usman, please share your lesson. You can type it, you can say it. I don't care. What do you remember? If you remember nothing, then that's also feedback. Tell me you remember nothing. I'm not sure what you're doing, Usman. You don't need to rewatch it now to have a good answer. It's not important. It's just giving some feedback here. We need to work on the interaction, guys. And that's also maybe with a bigger group will be better. But key lesson, from my perspective, was that you don't keep learning with more theory. You need to start learning by doing. It's really important for you guys at your level, you're starting out still, is that you start learning by doing. And we were specifically talking about getting your first or next client. So I know I'm talking to a group of people that is still beginning, learning their skills. And of course, you need the theory to learn the skills. But if you cannot get your customers, you cannot actually apply those skills. And with your customers, you will see that whatever you learned is only part of the picture. And by doing, you will actually learn much more. So you just need to start doing. And we talked about, this is a recap of last session. We talked about step number 1 is to define what your ideal customer or even employer is. We talked about the roots of not doing it freelance, but actually going on a job to learn the needed skills. We talked about how to outreach, what kind of platform you can use. Actually, we'll get back to this lesson, that in person is probably the best. But we also talked about the possibility of sending Facebook messages, Telegram, other platforms. And I talked about you need a list first so you can outreach after. So start making a list of potential clients, 100 plus. It's ideal to just be able to go down the list and to reach out and talk to each one of them. And it will also get you in the mindset of, who is my potential client? Who do I want to reach? And I talked about having the kind of client that can actually pay for your services long time, compared to, finding just anybody off the street who cannot actually. Also, you want to learn from your client, especially in the beginning. You want a client, you want an employer that is better than you, so you can learn, because you're still learning. So you want someone that is more important you learn from them than it is to actually earn a lot of money from them, especially in the beginning, right? So I kind of know the answer because nobody even replied to the key lesson. But yeah, did you create your list already? So if not, go watch the previous episodes and go through it and actually start doing. Again, I'm focusing a lot on taking action and start doing, because I can talk to you all day and I don't want to, because I don't want to spend my time on it if you guys are not taking action. If you guys take action, you will get results. You will get your customers, you will improve your skills, you will get to higher income. But you cannot do that if you just passively absorb information. If you just learn the theory, you will get nowhere. You need to take action. Creating a list is the easy part, because it's just a list. You just need to do some research and stuff. So that's the easy part. I was hoping more people had done this part, because it's the easy part. The harder part was step number 4 of the previous lesson, to take massive action and start talking to people one-on-one. That was the challenge I set you guys, to really one-on-one talk with people, offer them your services, and really try to understand their needs, their problems, so you can give them a solution. So I'm a bit disappointed. I did this training last time, and I don't know how many people we reached and how many people watched it on YouTube, but I hope it was at least dozens. And I know there were quite a few people in the call last time. And I wanted to acknowledge at least one of you. I was hoping that at least one of you from the training, from the start taking action, would have done this, but I have not received a single connection request on LinkedIn, a single message on Facebook or whatever, or a phone call. I may not be a potential client for everybody, but I'm in the West. I have a company and we do things like marketing, and this would have been like I'm not telling you guys now all to contact me, but at least you would have shown me that you're taking this seriously and you're taking action, right? It would have been so easy to connect with me and ask me, do you have any opportunity, right? And I mean, there's tons of more. I'm just the example here. Nobody did that. That would have been easy because you already know me. And then, then you probably also didn't reach out to other people, because otherwise, I would have also seen messages, right? So I'm disappointed in you guys. And, I'm spending my time here, which is quite valuable, on helping you guys. And I have decided that I'm going to make this a 3-part lesson. So I did one already. This is the second one. The third one is like a final one to round off and to also see if there is interest to go deeper. But you guys need to take action. Otherwise, I'm not going deeper. So this is up to you guys. You have a chance here. If you don't try, you cannot win. You also cannot fail. Therefore, you cannot learn. And that's what you're here for. You're here to learn. And you learn more by failure than you learn by winning. And it starts with doing, action. So my challenge last time already, this was last time, I said contact 100 people in the next month. Now we're 3 weeks on. So, I mean, if anybody would have done it, I would have had some results, but I'm a little bit afraid I failed in motivating you guys. Maybe there's a few. They were just not in the call. Of course, my sample size here in the call was very low. But yeah, that was my challenge. And I had even some rewards, and I want to reiterate this because I still want to give you the same challenge. There's 3 weeks until the last session. So in total, there's been 6 weeks. So you guys still have 3 weeks to take me up on this. And it still goes for each one of you in the call, each one listening to the recording. If the first reward is that you will find your first or next customer, because I honestly fully believe that if you really go for it, you contact 100 people and you talk to each of them. And with each of them, you talk about your service and how you can help them and what their problems are, then you will find a customer. This is a given. You just need to start doing. That's your first reward. You'll get a customer. Your second reward, I already said last time, is the top 10 action takers, the 10 people that have taken the most action, called the most amount of people, got the most amount of customers. Those people I will give one-on-one coaching. I will give them a session one-on-one, and I will help them specifically to the next level in their problems. Because those people are probably further ahead. Right? I want to acknowledge that, and I want to reward that. And it can be one of you. It can be you. Oh, I'm looking at you. And I just added a third reward. I want to motivate you more. I want to give you more, which is that if you take the action, even if you're not in the top 10, like if you just take the action, if you go the extra mile and contact 100 people, if you really, make your list and start going through it and really contact people and talk to them and show us some conversations. I will talk with the NEF Foundation, how you can actually show this. They will send you an email about it or whatever. But if you qualify, if you contact enough people, then you qualify for the masterclass I will give after this. So I fully intend to give you guys more, but only if you guys take action. And I'm only going to do the masterclass with the people that take action, that actually do the first lessons. Otherwise, you can just rewatch the first 3 episodes, first 3 lessons until you get it. And then, maybe next time, maybe the next time I'm doing the masterclass, you can qualify. But why wait? Why wait, guys? This is your chance. This is your chance to work with me, to even work with me one-on-one. So first, you must learn by doing, right? What you can offer. This is just in the conversations. If you have conversations with people that are actually potentially interested in your offer, you can learn more about what you're offering, what you should be offering, what their problems are, how you can offer something that they actually need. You will learn more about who your audience is, what type of people you should contact more. And even if you create your first list of 100 and after 10 people you find out that it's the wrong list, maybe you need to make a new list. It's possible, but after 100 you know for sure. And you build your credibility by doing actual jobs, right? If you do stuff for people, even if it's small stuff, you will have credibility for the next one. You say, I've already done this and this and this, so I can also help you. And only then can I help you in the masterclass to make your offer irresistible. I can talk about all that shit. I can talk about, how to make your offer better and, what kind of customers would be the best to find and stuff. But I will just overload you with information at this point. You just need to start doing first. But once you get there, once you show that you are starting with the doing and you're actually actively taking massive action, we talked about it last time, right? I got to where I am in the first 5 years by working 60, 80 hours per week. That's how I can now, at this moment, earn a lot and only work 12 hours per week. But that was earned by doing a lot upfront, right? If you go through life mediocre, you will always, always work a lot and not earn a lot. But if you go through life taking the extra massive action needed to get a step higher or a few steps higher, then you can relax later, right? You earn your later relaxation. But anyway, in the masterclass, I can help you make your offer irresistible. We can up-level your customers to great customers, because it's so much nicer to have customers that have repeat business, that pay you a nice hourly rate or whatever you do for the payment. And then we can also create an infinity loop where you have the customers come to you. You don't need to do marketing. You don't need to do sales if you do it well. It will automatically come back to you, and it will tell you how. This is all in the masterclass, but you have to earn the masterclass, right? Right. So here is the second lesson. This was all kind of recap with an extra reward. This is the second lesson, how to get into the conversation to learn what they need. I want to drive this point home because last time I in the Q&A and stuff, I noticed, and it's so easy to try and outreach through Facebook messages, or even sending a message like an email, or sending a message on LinkedIn or whatever. That's easy. It's just text, right? We can type something, we can think about it. We don't sound African in our accent. We they don't have a picture that maybe you have some prejudice, however you pronounce that because you're black or something, that people will not hire you in the West or whatever. Like all of that is maybe whatever you look at, it's easier in the chat. But you also know that you cannot communicate well on a chat. You cannot actually listen to them first on a chat. You have to make some assumptions to get them to even reply to you, right? And we know that was also in the Q&A last time, that if you send 10, 20, 100 messages, only a small percentage of them actually answers you, right? And if you even found the right people to contact. So it's really, I know you guys don't want to hear it, if you want to work for the West because we have more money or whatever, but the real life conversations, the people in your local community. I had another slide here, like why are you doing the work down here if the results are much better up there with conversations. But you want to learn at this point in your career, you want to learn what problems you can solve for them, and for that you need to listen. Listening is so much more important for you right now than talking, saying what you can do, because you can do shit. You can't do anything, or not much yet. That's just the truth. You don't have 10 years of experience in whatever you're doing yet. So you need to listen what they need, and then you can help them with what they need to the best of your ability, whatever that is, knowing your skills. So just back to the real life conversations, I really encourage you guys to try it. It is actually one of the easiest things, because you can just go up to a business in your local community, whatever the business is, whether they're raising chickens or having a restaurant or doing haircuts, it doesn't matter. All of them need marketing. Your local community needs marketing. Maybe they don't need all video editing, that's maybe a little bit bigger, but on the other side, if you do social media marketing, if you use TikTok and stuff, you can get more customers. So if you do video editing, you can also, maybe you can be a bit broader, help them in general with their TikTok accounts, or with the Instagram reels or Facebook reels or whatever you're doing, and then the video editing plus the marketing there. That's something. The organic marketing is very cheap for people, so they just need your help to create it, and it's definitely driving results. Facebook reels and stuff are targeted also locally at first, I think, and it depends a bit per platform, but you can put your location there, and then it will also look at your location. And if you're giving haircuts or you have a restaurant or whatever it is, the local business, they also need customers, and their local customers do have, most likely, some of them have a smartphone and maybe a TikTok feed or an Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So this is still valid. And remember, you want to learn first. So yeah, probably they cannot pay you much if they can pay you, but yeah, if it's a real business, they can pay you because they will earn something if you bring them customers. So they can pay you something for it. And if you get the skills, if you work on the skills, if you get everything, like if you have a year experience doing this locally, then maybe you can do it for the West and maybe earn more, if that's even true. But there's also, there's in the big cities, there's also companies earning a lot of money that can pay you better if your skills are good. So just remember, like, you suck at this moment. I'm sorry to say it. But compared to all the competition you have out there, and especially if you go online and you think you want to work for the West or for the US or whatever, like, there's so much people that are already better than you. Like, maybe you have more chance in your local environment, right? But you definitely need experience, and you need to start doing. I talked about this last time as well. Maybe you need to start for free and just get the experience to be able to sell yourself for way more. That's what I said in this slide as well. There's also value-based pay. Just for you guys who don't know what it is, I think I talked about it last time, but basically you say, I'll do it for whatever you think it's worth. For example, you do the local haircut or whatever, and they don't know, they don't trust your expertise maybe, because you don't have much to show. You say, okay, never mind. I will do your marketing for you. I will create your videos or your TikTok, whatever. If you get customers from that, pay me, I don't know, $1 per customer or whatever, right? You can, or not even, you can also not name a price and say, whatever that's worth to you, that you get those customers, let me get me some money from that. Or not even the customers, maybe you're doing marketing and it's more branding, my effort, you can see what I'm doing, you can help me that it's better, like it really fits your company, and I think you will have a better presence and people will start coming to you. And maybe it's not that visible, but whatever you feel it's worth after a month or 2 months, you can pay me whatever that is. And if it's not enough and you don't like it, or you don't like working together anymore, you've learned and you go on to the next experience, but maybe they actually get a lot of value from you. In the end, you are worth what value you bring. So if you bring them a lot of money by bringing them customers, or bringing them a brand that attracts customers so they don't need any advertisements anymore, or because their videos are that much better, you bring them value, and that value you can get into money. But in the beginning, maybe you're doing something that they don't find valuable, that doesn't actually bring in the customers, and then you can ask them to pay you, but you're not actually bringing value, so they will stop working with you, or they won't even try to work with you because they don't trust that you can bring them value. So value-based pay. So just a little story from my side. I worked, I'm living in the Netherlands. I worked with many freelancers from all over the world. That's Africa, but also US, Canada, India, Pakistan, Indonesia, from all over the world. I tried people. And basically I did it because, especially in the beginning, I was very cheap. I wanted the cheap people. And in the Netherlands, they are more expensive freelancers, even though I later find out that on the same platforms like Upwork, you can find Dutch people for similar prices, like below $10 per hour, just like you can do in the rest of the world. you may forget about this, but there are people in the Netherlands too that want to start and learn and don't care too much about the money and just want to start learning and offer themselves very cheaply. And that's the same in the rest of the world. So I found a lot of starters just like you guys, and some had some previous experience, some didn't have any experience at all. They just learned something or whatever, or watched some YouTubes. I don't know. So I probably tried at least 30 that I actually worked with, right? And I did hundreds of interviews with lots and lots of people, VAs, marketing, social media marketing, video editing, sales, administration, research, you name it. And I run a development company, so obviously I also talk to developers, but usually not the starters. With developers, I needed people that already had some experience. So in the profiles of these people, maybe you have an Upwork profile or a Fiverr profile or whatever. They write like, I can do all of these things. If you're a marketeer, maybe you write, I can do LinkedIn marketing, I can do Facebook marketing, I can do Reels, I can do stories, I can do Reddit, whatever, right? You write all these things, SEO, like the most, it's not just social media marketing. You can do SEO too, and you can build a website. And that's what I see that most people do, right? They're not very specialized. But even when I try to cut out the bullshit and really find, because I usually look for people that have specifically, like, I'm great at Facebook, for example. I worked before with Facebook and I need someone that's with Facebook, or I need someone that does Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I try to find them very specifically. So that's already a tip there. But then, it turned out in the end that they sucked. They were not really good. They didn't have that much experience. Or if they had experience, it didn't really apply to my business the way I wanted it done. It was not the way that they had done before. So there is such a big gap of what you still need to learn. But there was one person, and this person, he acknowledged that he sucked. He actually, said, okay, I understand. I'm not. He saw me. This was actually a developer that through a reference came to me, and normally I don't hire junior developers, but he was presented as a bit more than he actually was. So in the beginning, he acknowledged, like, okay, I see how good you are, and I'm nowhere near that level. But then he put in massive action to improve. So he started working next to the work. He worked a lot more, and he did a lot of extra, like he worked a lot of hours for free. I think in the beginning he worked fully for free for a time to kind of keep his job, because I said, well, I don't want you. You're not even worth the, I don't know, $10 or $20 per hour that he asked. I think he asked 20 in the beginning per hour. I said, you're not worth it. And then he said, less. And then I said, no, you're not worth that. And then he worked for free. He actually offered to work for free. I said, okay, sure, for free. But let's try you out some more. And then, the whole first year, at some point, he went to, I think, $10 per hour, but he still over delivered a lot of time. He still put in extra hours on top of the hours that he actually billed me. So he was earning $10 per hour, not a lot for a developer. And he did a lot of extra work that he didn't get paid for. And, now he's not only earning most of all my employees, now it's not even 4 years later, 3.5 years later, but he is also my right hand for many things. He runs projects fully autonomously alone. And also he's giving back to his community. I really admire this guy. He also got recently a secondary role as a CTO for one of my customers, because he works for me as a freelancer. So at this moment, there's not that much work from my side. So he got the secondary role as a CTO, Chief Technological Officer. That's like the right hand of the CEO of my customer in the technical department. And all of that, his name is Nsisong. You may know him. He's in the call. And I really respect what he's doing and what he's done to get here. And he is the reason I'm here today helping you guys. Because if it wasn't for Nsisong, for his journey, for him going all in on massive action to really get to where he is today, he would not have been able to give back to you guys. And he's doing all of this for you guys for free. It's incredible what he's doing. So just want to acknowledge that and show you the living example that's here that you can ask questions to, how he did it. That's just the example of how you need to put in a massive amount of work to get, to work for people that you like. He acknowledged he could learn a lot from me. I hope he has. I think he has. And how we can both be here today. So we overestimate what we can do in 1 year. That's just human. But we underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10 years. So yeah, I want to acknowledge his journey. So you guys, if you take the massive action that is required, I mean, you can do this with the massive action. And I could expand this lesson, and give you a lot more information, more methods, how to find prospects, how to, get them on a phone call or video call, how to talk them in person. It's just lots of theory I could be adding to this lesson, but that's not the main part. And most of it, you guys know already. You know how to find people. I don't need to really tell you. I could give you all kinds of tricks. We love these tricks. YouTube is full of them. The top 10 tricks for this, the top 5 tips, find them, whatever. All the information is out there. Your problem is not more information. You know all that shit. Yeah. Your problem is not more knowledge. Your problem is the execution, the doing, the taking massive action. Actually, what we talked about in the beginning, I'm so disappointed I didn't get a single LinkedIn connection. And there is dozens of you. So your problem is doing the shit. That's how you get to the next level. But, to give you a little bit something, there's lots of people in this call. Oh, let's brainstorm. And you guys can do this offline or together as well, small groups. But let's think about it together. How can you meet potential clients? How can you get into a conversation, be it real life or video call or phone call, with someone that you can have a conversation with, that can tell you their problems, and that those are problems that you can potentially solve with your skill set, right? If you do marketing, you can help them. Maybe I have a problem, I cannot find enough customers, or I cannot get my brand, whatever it is, right? But how can you meet potential clients? And just type in chat. We have one already done, volunteering. Yeah, it's a really good one. Like I said, you can start for free, whether you call it volunteering or not, whether it's a volunteering organization or not. You can work for anybody for free if you are persistent enough to get the job. I think that's my opinion. Like Nasisan was persistent enough to get the job from me. They will give you a chance. So actual volunteering organization can make sense, but maybe one where you can, like, I would always think about clients that you can learn from, and that could still be volunteering. It's still a great answer, but beyond that, also free internship. Let's not have only Neka, sorry, butchering your name. Let's have more in the chat, right, people? What more? How can we meet potential clients? More people start typing. There's also taking action, right? I really, in the beginning of this call, I know there were not that many people in yet, but the amount of people typing stuff and just answering my questions is very low. You guys need to take action, even on the small things like this. Start typing, throw it out there. Don't be afraid that I think it's a shitty answer, or your peers, your group thinks it's a shitty answer. Don't be afraid. Just get your brain working. Internship. An internship is another form of doing it for free, but a more recognized approach. Doing an internship is usually connected to university or at least education, but the same principle as an internship can apply when you're just offering your services for free to anybody, right? So that's definitely a good option. One that I would recommend if you don't have the skills yet. Start for free, which you could call an internship. Dami says networking. So networking, You can maybe be more specific than me in how you can do networking. But yes, you can talk to your friends, your peers, the people that you know, but maybe also more broadly go to networking events. For example, I know the story about one of the great podcasters I'm following on YouTube for the School of Greatness. I love that podcast. I can highly recommend it. And he told that when he started when he had no skills, he actually went to these networking things. Specifically, I don't remember what specifically networking, but anyway, he went there and he just stayed the longest of everybody, talked with everybody. He did a lot of work just talking with people and learning. And then, slowly doing this a couple of times, he learned more and more what these people were looking for. And then he started adding value by, telling them, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And from there, he got his first jobs helping people. And he had such a big network that later, when he started his podcast, it still took a couple of years, but he had all these great people that he could talk to and interview. And it was a great starting point. So networking events are, especially if you go the extra mile. Yes. See a hand raised.
Yes, Ren is actually, I want to add to what you said, because I've also observed that a lot of my people are scared to try something, maybe scared of being not doing the right thing, or scared of failure and all that, which, as you said, and of course, it's also a principle that I know very well, which I've also learned from you. Uh, Without trying, you can't really get anything done, And another thing is, some people are also quick, like they don't want to go through the process, but they want to reap the reward, right? So there's a process in building capabilities, and a lot of people are not patient enough to build capability and move to the next stage of life, but they want to enjoy life. That's also one of the challenges, right? Some people will try, maybe they'll try 1 month, 2 months, and there's no results, right? They'll just give up and maybe go back to do normal thing and all that. So I mean, it's a reality.
It's very good. Yeah, very good addition. And for everybody, listen well to what he said. It's the being scared of failure. This is probably there's two things he said, right? The scared of failure and I'm just translating it to the distractions and the quick wins we are looking for. Like if you look for the quick wins, this is what you get, the dopamine rush that you get on TikTok scrolling or on Facebook scrolling, right? It's so much in our culture at this moment globally, that all these social media, your phone is a really big culprit. Like it's all the time you're rewarded for taking action, right? But only the small things, and it's giving you this dopamine rush, and you're like, oh, that's this cool, next, and we are kind of trained by our phones, by how the digital economy works, to want quick wins, to want the dopamine rush. We're kind of addicted to these dopamine rush. Not kind of, we are actually addicted to them. And in life, you need more than just the dopamine hits to really learn a skill, to really get to the next level. So you need to get out of that addiction pattern in how you are learning things, and not just think about what's fun to do or what's making you happy or what's giving you this dopamine. No, it's not about what's making you happy. We all in this culture, I think globally also, we think we should be doing the job or whatever that making us happy. I say that's bullshit, because if you're just looking for happiness, that's most people, right? Most people are looking for the quick dopamine hits for happiness that way, because we equate happiness and dopamine very, very closely. It's not, it's not actually the truth. Happiness very much deeper. and we cannot get there without actual strive and action, especially because all the quick wins, people are already doing it. But if you want to get to a level beyond where average people are, where the rest of the people are, if you want to go to the next level, you need to get out of this quick wins, dopamine rushes, and get to the actual work required, stuff you don't like to do, and do it and do it and do it and do it. Another quote that may help you there is, if you do something enough times, you become good at it, and you actually enjoy the things you're good at. So to get to the next level, you need to do stuff you don't like by default. That's just how it works. But you will get good at it, and once you're good at it, you start enjoying it again, and then you can get back to your happiness. Not specifically with dopamine, but then you can find true happiness because you're doing something you love to do because you're great at it. If you're great at marketing, for example, and you're great at helping people build a, I don't know, social media or Facebook advertisements, and you're getting great at it, and you see more and more results, and you have all these happy customers that are really happy with what you're doing because you're bringing a lot of value, you're adding a lot of money, and they're rewarding you with a lot of money for that. Not because of the money, but because it brings you satisfaction, it brings you joy to be doing something so well that it has so many great results for so many people. That's where you want to go next. So that was one, and the other one was the failure, the fear of failure. So yeah, I already said it inside this slideshow, but if you fail, you actually learn. So if you can reframe your failure like to being like a fear of learning, because failure is learning. Failure equals learning. So if you are afraid to fail, you are basically afraid to learn. And I mean, you're here to learn, right? So that's a nonsense belief for you to have. It's not getting you anywhere. So if you are afraid to fail, if you're afraid to, put a message in the chat, afraid to reach out and type a message to someone, every time you feel that fear, it's a real fear, you really feel it, then in your mind say, I'm afraid to learn. I need to, bullshit. I need to learn. So I need to do this, and then do it. And the more you actually do it, the more you go out of the fear, out of the comfort zone, and actually take the actions. And you can do it in small steps at the beginning, but every time go through the fear, actually do the thing, and the fear will disappear. Like fear will disappear by taking consistent action, by just doing it again and again and again, and you will no longer fear. And then you're ready for the next level, right? Maybe the first fear is you can actually send a chat message or a LinkedIn request, but then you need to level up and you need to call them, maybe on the phone or video call or in person, right? You need to keep leveling up to really get to that level where it actually works. Why does talking with a real person or a video call do so much better for sales? Because most people don't even dare to. I mean, it's also because you can get feedback and you can learn from them and hear what their problems are. But it's also because most people don't do it. They don't dare it. They're too afraid to do it. So if you go out of the average, again, out of the average and do those calls, pick up the phone. Like who here in this day and age is still picking up the phone and calling a company using the number or the actual, you can more easily find mobile phone numbers of directors or whatever, like people that run companies, more easily find those phone numbers than you could 20 years ago when I was starting out. It's so much easier now because nobody calls them anymore. Nobody dares to. But if you're the one that actually calls them, maybe even a video call with WhatsApp nowadays or whatever, like it's so much easier to talk to them and really get feedback. And they will, they have to deal with you. They cannot ignore your chat message if you're calling them. So they have to deal with you as long as they pick up the phone, of course. And then, oh, okay. And then you have at least a chance to talk to them. Even if they don't like what you're saying and they hang up 2 seconds later, you've learned. Again, this failure is learning. So the next time maybe you'll say something different and you'll get a different response. And I know it's scary, but you need to break through that fear to learn. Reframe the fear to if you don't fail, then you don't learn. And then you get nowhere in life. And then I don't want to give you more masterclass because that's your first lesson. You need to break through it. Right. I think really important what Sisong added there. Let me see what you guys wrote. How can we meet potential clients? Cold emails, private messages. So yeah, I showed you the funnel, right? That those are in the bottom of the list. That's what everybody else is doing. So yes, it can work if you send a large enough volume, but I'm talking about a list of 100. If you are using a cold email and message strategy, you probably need to contact 10,000 people to get to talk to 100 people, right? So it's very extensive. I mean, you could add Facebook advertisement or something to the list, which goes maybe a little bit faster, but it's still like everybody is doing it. And, I know you guys don't have the money for that, but even if you did have the money for that, it's not as effective as just going out there, picking up the phone, going to the business next door, and just, who's the owner here? Can I talk to the owner? Like just take that confidence. Even if you don't feel that confidence, just do it and build up the confidence. You build confidence by doing. Again, it's like having all those small failures and also the small successes. The successes build, like the failures you learn from, and the successes build your confidence. And the higher your confidence is, the bigger chance you will actually land the job, because you radiate confidence. Yes, Cesar.
Okay. I think one more thing is competition. I mean, among the young people these days, especially in Nigeria, young people are competing more instead of collaborating more, right? You find out that somebody is selling apple, right? Is selling fruit, apples, for example. Instead of the next person going there to sell something that will complement apple, right? They would rather open up another Apple shop opposite just to compete, right? That's a simple scenario. It happens across board, and it's also one of the reasons people waste resources, because resources is limited, right? You waste resources, you open shop, you pay shop rent that you can't keep. It also leads to some certain lifestyles that you can't afford just because of competition. So there's that competitive spirit just need to be silenced. Collaborate more with people. If you're into digital marketing, there are already people there that if you observed, you'll find out that, oh, this person is into this and I have this skill. So instead of going to the customers, how about I go to this person and tell this person, oh, why not? If you see a business like this is what I'm good at. I mean, everybody wants to do business. I mean, in business, there's one I always say, business is more of addition than subtraction. So even if you are adding $1, it's more important than subtracting $1 out of it. That is why we are in business.
Very, very true. I hope you guys are listening to what he's saying, and actually is giving on one other answer to this question that I didn't see here, which is you can meet potential clients by talking to people that are already serving them, right? So other digital marketeers is what the example he gave, but it doesn't need to be a marketeer specifically, right? You could also talk to someone who's doing like if you have the video editors here and the marketeers. So I mean, those could also, if someone's already doing video editing for a client, maybe you can talk to the client from a marketing perspective, or see who together 1 + 1 = 3. I always say, like the math is all wrong. If you have a human female and a human male, they have children, they have a child. Now 1 + 1 = 3, right? It's just math that we learn on school is not very helpful here. It's the living math. It's the math of working together, you know, and it can be much more than 1 + 1 with multiple children becomes 4, 5, 6. So, and that's the same in business. It's uh, exactly like Nassim said. So definitely look into not just your competition, which could also be, we call them often in Dutch, conculega's, which means like the uh, competing uh, um, colleagues, competing colleagues. This is like a shorthand for competing colleagues. So they, it's nice to have other people that keep you accountable, and that kind of in the business, all of us are competing a bit with each other, but we're also colleagues because we're doing the same thing. And I like that term, like being competitive colleagues together. And another thing I thought about when I heard Nsizang speak is like, you guys have a big community here. Why not make small groups? If one of you is really great and already has experience in Facebook ads, and the other one already has a lot of experience doing Facebook organic, maybe you can join forces and give a great Facebook help to a company. Or maybe if they want just ads, then want someone with Facebook ad experience and someone with TikTok ad experience. Together, you can give a much richer experience to a potential client. And also, if you go together or you go and say, I represent a group of freelancers, like we represent the business. I mean, you don't have to call the group freelancers. You can just say we have a business together, and I represent the business, which has multiple people. Like we are specialized in this and this and this, and we can help you. And like it's a very different conversation than if you go in as a freelancer, and probably has a higher rate as well, which you can then divide. So there's lots of reasons why you would love to work together, right? So great additions there. Let me just look in the chat if there's more people. We got more networking on free events. We talked about it. Social media and real-time events. So yeah, there's also on social media, there's lives and stuff that you can hook into. That's a good point. Ask your existing clients, colleagues, or friends for referrals. So that's very, very powerful as well. Of course, it depends on your network. Like that, let me just add that one to the lesson. Like I said it last lesson. The value of your network is the value of your net worth. I had that in the previous slide. You can look at it in the first episode, but it's so true that if your network has only students that have just started, it might not be very helpful to ask existing, other students if they have a job for you or they have a client for you. But if you can level up and create a network of people, like somehow get into a network of people where there's multiple business owners and there's multiple people that might potentially be clients, not even directly, but they might know other people that are clients. And sometimes it's a family member or it's if you're lucky, but sometimes you need to actually grow to get to the next level yourself, to be able to get into a higher networking space, right? So personally, I was in a place 5 years ago where I knew I needed to level up my network, but I didn't. I had, I didn't have anyone. I didn't know anybody that for example, had $1 million business or something. But I wanted to get into the place where I was talking to people that had businesses that did $1 million in revenue because I wanted to go to the level. So and then I started interviewing people. I interviewed people who made millions. I talked to several millionaires, and I went into a mastermind with people that didn't all make $1 million yet because I wasn't close enough to that level. So I went to do a mastermind with people that were a little bit more on my level, but the whole group is already elevating, and at least one or two of them already made $1 million. So I can learn from that group, and slowly I'm looking for the next mastermind that's even higher level. So you get there in steps. It's not like I would not recommend today to find millionaires to talk with because you don't have anything to add value to them yet. but know that it's a process where if you find the next level, if you can now talk to people that are already freelancing for a couple of years maybe and have some success, have some clients, and you can talk to those people and make a network of those people saying, I'm also a freelancer. Do you have some tips for me? Or maybe I can help you for free or something. Can I learn from you? Can I just have like an hour of your time? Can we talk? How are you doing this or that? You will find that those people who are on the next level will often make time to talk with you, will often want to help you because they had some success. They want to teach it to the next person. But if you go 3 steps up, they will not want to talk to you. So find those people that are in the next level. Okay, I think we spent more than 5 minutes on this one. I wanted to add to this as my answer to the how to meet potential clients is to really hammer down something I learned in my life is that the energy of authenticity really attracts and really not only makes you find the right people, but also gets you the jobs. Because if you're your authentic self, for example, I have a podcast, and you can find it on YouTube under my name, and it's in Dutch. It has English subtitles for if you guys are interested, but it's in Dutch, and I just talk about what we're doing here. I have a farm, I have a food forest, I have a bunch of things and a bunch of ideas that are not very average, as you may expect from me after this, and I talk about them, and I just talk about it from being me. That's what I believe. That's what I love. That's what I do, and some people are very turned off. Like if you put it on social media, and I put shorts and stuff on TikTok and whatever, and there's lots of very negative comments. But there's also lots of thumbs up that don't comment. And I just know from talking to people that the people that are silent, that are just watching and resonate with that authentic me, they resonate with me. Those are the people that are those are the peers. Those are the people I want to inspire, and I do inspire, and that could potentially be customers, or I want to do courses and stuff for them in the future. But that's the people that resonate with me, and don't care about the rest of them. Don't care about the negativity, the negative comments. Like I couldn't care less about those negative comments and all the other things, because that's not the people that resonate. There's so many other people that do resonate and do a thumbs up and do tell me like, oh, I saw your last episode, it was wonderful. Like that's what gives me energy, and it just attracts the right people. So it's just not only attracts in general, because if you're authentic, people resonate in general, like, oh, I need to sit up and hear what he's saying, but also um, um, it attracts the right people, the people that want to work with, that fit with you, that wants to work with you. So from this little exercise that we just did together, take home to inspire each other, to help each other, ask for help within this community. You have this amazing community that is the NEF Foundation. Use the groups, ask for help, do things together. Like, use this resource, but it doesn't stop in the NEF Foundation, right? Go beyond that. Find your own Facebook group, your own community locally. Like, find people in your local area that are also starting freelancers or whatever. They're definitely there, right? So, find groups of people, inspire each other, maybe find like just the next level, or groups that have partly next level, partly your level, and level up from helping each other. I think this is so important. I also see a question here. Finding those kinds of people will be really hard in our world, especially when you can't afford their fee. In this case, what does one do? Didn't see the question on time, so I'm thinking back what this refers to. Maybe Neka, you can unmute and because I want to answer your question. I love it that you ask a question, but I'm not. What kind of people was I talking about?
Hello,
Hey,
good morning.
good morning.
Okay, I'm referring to the part you said about finding people that are already into the services you want to offer, getting them to a kind of um, help you get into the system, maybe refer one or two clients to you, or help them to do something. So in most cases, I have reached out to so many people in the services I offer, and they will be kind of, I need to pay for their mentorship and all of that. So in this case, where people don't normally um, wants to help upcoming freelancers, especially in that area of rendering services and getting clients, but you have to pay for their mentorship and all of that. What do one do? How can one go about it? Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Great question. And I can fully understand this one. So yeah, the answer is that you basically know where to find them. The question is, how can you uh, get them to give you this kind of mentorship for free, or just like feel like a connection with them, like make friends with them rather than buying them as a mentor or something. Because that's in the end what it's about. If you're on friendly terms with them, they want to help you, like you want to help a friend, right? So how do you become friends with them? That's basically the question. And the answer lies oftentimes in number one, don't go too many steps up. Like really try to find the ones that maybe just succeeded. Like if you're just starting out, then maybe you should talk not to the people that are already doing it for 4 years or 5 years or 10 years, but talk to the ones that just started 6 months ago. Like they can already help you, but they are less likely to already ask for a fee for mentorship or whatever, right? So that's one. One is, don't go too high. Find the ones that just are just a little bit above you. And the second one is to get people to help you. Often it helps to help them first. So instead of going to, so if I would go to you, and I was also a starting freelancer, and you already had some gigs, and I would say, hey, Nika, I'm just starting out, and can you maybe refer me some clients? You would say, nah, I also just started out and I don't have any clients to spare, right? Because I'm just asking for something. But if I go to you and I say, hey, Neka, I saw that you are very skilled in Facebook ads, and but I didn't see you doing anything on TikTok. Maybe I can help you and I can show you what I did on TikTok, and maybe you can tell me something about how you're doing it on Facebook, and then maybe we can help each other. That's a very different question, right? And then maybe if that resonates with you, then maybe you would say, "Oh, sure, let's talk," and then from there can be a friendly. You can become friends or not. Like maybe it's the next person, right? It's also don't be afraid of failure. Try different people. Try find the right connections. Not everybody will become your friend, obviously. I hope that helped you as an answer.
Um, Thank you. It's really something. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so there's one last session in 3 weeks from now. I didn't really actually claim the date yet, but my suggestion would be that is the Friday, the 12th of January. So put it in your calendars, same time, 9 a.m. in the morning, my time. I'm not entirely sure what it is in your side. Um, but there's one more session exactly 3 weeks from now, same time. So which means you got some bonus time because originally my challenge was for 1 month. You basically get 6 weeks in total. So you can still do it, and you can still take the massive action that we talked about. If you didn't see the first lesson, go back, look at the first lesson. Basically, this lesson is more of the same in a way because you really need to start taking action. Start talking to people. That's the whole message here. Yes, Nasisa.
Okay, please. I think for the audience, if you don't understand the challenge that Ren is talking about, you ask the question now, because he has actually said something about taking actions, joining the challenge, then he will now take to the next steps. The next steps can be, if you are lucky to have one-on-one section with Rein, you are good to go. That is what I can say.
Yeah, and it's not just the one-on-one, right? That's for the top 10, the ones that take the most action. But if you take this action now, and if you really go and make a list of 100 people and contact them, and you're reaching out. I'm going to discuss with Nsisong how the NEF Foundation can actually check with you guys, like that you did the work. What we want to see is conversations, records, or maybe some acknowledgements, or I don't know, like, can you somehow show that you talked to real people or that you did the video calls? That I, I mean, I don't want to get like all nitty gritty about it, but we want to see the action, mostly because we are sure it will lead to results. We actually want to see you have your first customer. If you didn't get your first customer from this challenge, then I also did something wrong. So if you get your first customer, that's also a big qualifier to go to the next level, right? So if you get your first customer or your next customer, whatever it may be, that's also qualifying you immediately to go to the masterclass. But if you can show, I didn't find the customer, but I took all this action, and you can show us, that also qualifies you for the masterclass. And the masterclass will probably be from February somewhere, and then we'll go more deeply into how you can really up level what now you found your customers, you know how to get customers, but then you can up level how you can find even better customers, and how you can make an even better offer, how you can earn more money from it. But that's not the first step. The first step is to actually take the action, to start doing the thing, to also get better at the thing, not just better at your service, which you need to provide to someone, but also better at finding the customers and talking to people and getting more confident. That's the whole first thing. So as long as you haven't done that, we are not going to do the masterclass with you, and you can just repeat these lessons, because that's just what it is. It's not very exciting. It's just taking action. Yes.
Oh, okay, guys. For the communication will happen in our Telegram group, because we found out that WhatsApp is is very, you can't see when a new member joins WhatsApp, the person can't see the history of the chat. So we are moving everything to Telegram. So if you have not joined the Telegram group, you join it so that it will be easier for any time any new member comes in, he can at least scroll and see what has been happening there. So
yeah, very good. Just to round off my part, and I see some more questions. Can we get the slide? I can send the actual presentation also, so you can spread it. We will also have a recording. This whole call is recorded, so we can also look back on the recording. Yeah. So next time in January, when we come back on the 12th, if I remember correctly, bring your wins. Show me that you did the thing, you did the outreach, and then bring us the celebration. I really want to celebrate next time with you guys. Like, we got the first customer for a couple of people, and at least we did lots of effort, lots of work, and we got some results from that. So really bring your wins next time. Go out, take action. Yeah, maybe you think it's Christmas season and stuff, people won't have time. No, maybe they're not working, but also maybe they are not working, so they have time to hear you and to respond to you. Maybe it's just an opportunity. So take this time. If you can show you did the work, you can join the next masterclass. So I have a bit of time left if you want for some Q&A. There's some more questions. You're very welcome, Dami and Neka. Yeah, I really hope it helps you guys, right? I really I want to push you guys to take action. I really want to push you past that dopamine hitting easy parts. You need to go through the hard part. If you don't go through the hard part, you will not get anywhere in life. So, take my word for it. You need to take the heavy actions, like that. You need to do the work, and it will not be fun always. Like, it will also be hard work. But if I promise you, if you really take the next 3 weeks and really, whatever time you have, if it's like 20 hours, 40 hours, even 80 hours, like if you really put in the time, you will have big wins to share with us in 3 weeks. But if, next time we talk and you're like, yeah, I watched the lesson, and I tried a few things, but it didn't work, then I say you didn't try. You didn't actually do anything. It's not about trying, it's about doing, right? Doing until you succeed. And there is no sexy shortcut. I mean, all these training programs, they try to sell you a sexy shortcut. I luckily don't have to sell you anything, because then I would have had to have some sexy headline like, I'm going to promise you to do this within 3 weeks. Well, I can promise you to do it in 3 weeks. If you do the work, then you can actually get the results in 3 weeks, right? You can get your first client in 3 weeks if you actually take massive action. Go for it, for sure. But it's not sexy, the work, but it needs to happen, especially where you are at right now. Be action takers, sure. Any last questions, guys? You have a chance now. It's like a one-on-one with me. Take that. It's a one-to-many, but you now can ask also a specific question to your situation. I'm doing this and this and this. What should I do? Like, this is your chance. I have 10 minutes. And this is even a small training, right? If you can get on the call with me, like maybe even do your video on and unmute your microphone and ask your question, in front of all these people in this group, and then you will get the reward of my answer, but also you've taken a small action which makes your well, helps your I can't find English words. Anyway, I have here one person who dares. Yes, Dami.
Okay. So my question is, you said something about not having any value to add yet, and it being a better idea to actually talk to people that are one step ahead. That's easier to talk with people at that level than to talk to people that are at the very top of the echelon. So I'm saying, like, what are some things that one can do when one wants to talk to people at the next level, and beyond like the strategies in place, like what are the things that you need to be doing before you talk to these people? Because I feel that sometimes I feel like now we do really have questions because we've not done the work. So I feel like in doing the work, we'll have more questions because, like, of course, once you're doing the work, you encounter the real challenges, and that's when you really have questions. So I think I'm just essentially asking for tips and how to, go about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the questions you should ask now, right? Thank you for the question. The question is very, very much for all of you, I think. Like, okay, I get it. I want to take the action. I'll have more questions when I'm doing the thing, but how do I get there? How do I get to a place where I'm doing the thing? So how can I, because doing the thing in this case is finding people to talk with, and it's still like, okay, we had some answers in the brainstorm. We could come up with a lot more, things. Some of them I said, like, just go out to local businesses or local network events, or there's so many ways to outreach. Use your community also. So that one of the answers I want to give you is, you have a big group here. Not all of them in the call, but lots of people are in the call, and there's also lots of people on Telegram. I just heard. So all of those people, some of them are already next level from you, maybe. So for some of you, that are really at the very lowest end. You could even look inside the group. Like, is there someone here that already has at least some clients? Like, what did you do? Can we help each other? So can I add value to you so I can learn from you? So that's one very easy one. Um, Another way is just to look inside the. You probably already are doing something like, I don't know, Facebook group, or some LinkedIn or whatever. Like, you're already trying to find people somewhere, and there's other people in that same place that are also trying to find people. So if you're, for example, the Facebook group is just an example. If in a Facebook group for freelancers that do marketing, those groups are there. If you're there and you're not having any results, then look who is also posting and what are they posting, and maybe you can kind of deduce that some of them are just a little step ahead of you, but not too much, and send them a message or reply to their messages, like, I'm in the same business, and maybe reply on the content, specifically what they are saying or asking for, like, how can you help them with that? It's funny where people are public, when people are saying something on Facebook or whatever, you can, especially if you read all the messages they sent, you can learn a lot about such a person, and then maybe you can find a way. Oh, I see you have this problem, maybe I can help you with that problem, and then you can send them a very specific message in a reply or in a Facebook message or whatever, like, oh, I saw you are having this problem, can I help you with it? So that's definitely one I would still, like, I hammered on, and I will just repeat it. Local businesses, I know you guys think, there's no money in local business or whatever, like, we need online, but local businesses are overlooked by all of you guys and all the competition you guys have. So there is not many people anymore that just go to the local restaurant or the local, even if it's the Apple stall owner that Nsizam just mentioned, or whatever. Like, all of them want to sell you something, and not many of them are actually even using social media. And if they are using it, they are probably, more than them, probably, hopefully, or maybe there are a few that actually know a little bit more than you, so you can learn from them, but don't have the time because they're also running, the shop or the restaurant or the hair salon or whatever it is, right? So because they don't have enough time, you can offer to work for them, or at least talk to them, like, okay, I see, you're doing this, but you didn't like, for example, take a local hair salon or whatever, right? A local business, and you look at them, what is their social media presence? And then you look and you see, oh, they have a presence, so I can probably learn from them, but the last update was 6 months ago. So they are not very active and they're not doing it anymore. So there's something there to learn, right? You can go to that business. You can say, can I talk to the one who did the social media advertisement? And they will probably refer you to the boss, or whoever did that, especially if it's a small business. It's probably the owner. And then you talk with the owner and say, I saw that you posted this and this, but you haven't posted for 6 months. What happened? Like, were there no results? I think you should just do more, because in this day and age, it's just one example what you could do, right? If you don't post daily, then you're not there, basically, and you should actually post multiple times per day. I can help you. Yeah, let me do the first weeks or month or whatever for free. I will just do more work with you to get you more content out there and make sure I do a post every single day. And then if that's valuable to you in 1 month time, then maybe you can pay me something from the new customers you got in your business. And if not, we can negotiate then, if we want to keep working together. Like, that's just one example off the top of my head what you can do with any local business, which you could also do with online business. You can send an email or whatever, but it just works the best to talk to people in person, because you will get feedback in person. Like, they will say, no, it's not that, it just doesn't work, I don't believe it works. And then you can talk to them about that and say, oh, but have you seen this and this? It does actually work. or whatever. Like you can go into their problem. What is their problem? Is their problem it doesn't work, or is their problem they didn't have the time? Maybe they say, yeah, it worked very well, but I just didn't have the time. I got so many extra customers that I couldn't find the time to do it anymore. So, whatever their problem is, you can zoom into this problem and then, find the solution that works for them. Okay. I need to round off because my child just came in. So just give a little wait here. We are going. I need to take over the children. So thank you guys for the time. I really hope that you guys will take all the action that's needed, and then rewatch the episodes if you need to. There will be replays. There will be slides, and then take the action. And we will see each other in 3 weeks, and let's have some wins then, guys. Have some wins. Bye bye.